Welcome to a new episode of Free to Thrive in Work and Life. Hi, I'm your host, Pascale Landriault, an international career and quality of life coach, helping clients from around the world to create fulfilling careers and lives by igniting their talents and their passions, building courage and confidence, and breaking free from the barriers that are keeping them from thriving. My guest today, Christina Bauer, is from California, and she's been guiding others to the source of their own being. She's also a host on Transformation TV with her own show called Moving Beyond Illness, Anxiety, and Depression. And she also just published a best-selling book called The Power of Our Unshakable Presence. And I've had the pleasure of spending some time here with Christina in Bali, and we've had a wonderful time together. And let me tell you that she really walks her talk. In fact, she's even beyond that. To me, she really embodies presence and with few words. So welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Pascale. Happy to be here with you today.
Thank you. So Christina, can you tell us, how did you come to be so present?
There's always been a part of me that has known that suffering is not necessary. And so through the most intense moments of my own suffering, there has been a very strong desire to find a way out of that suffering. So through practicing being present in the moment versus going on the track of whatever my mind or my emotional body has been feeling has literally helped me to survive those moments of pain and suffering. So it's really through the traumatic events of my life that have inspired and almost forced me to find presence.
It's almost like a quest.
Yes, it has felt, because there always has been this part of me that has known that suffering is optional, whereas I think for a lot of people that I come into contact with, there's not such a certainty, and so suffering can become normal and comfortable. But for me, suffering has never been comfortable because of that understanding or something that I must have came in with that sparked the interest and the discipline, my own internal discipline to practice and to seek something greater than whatever my perception is bringing forth at the moment.
And what has helped you the most on this road to presence?
Well, meditation is definitely a powerful ally in practicing presence. But with meditation, I find that so many of us have ideas or conceptual belief about meditation that can actually stop us from experiencing pure presence. Pure presence is just such a simple, non-doing, passive movement, which is really meditation. But we have a very masculine way in the West of seeing meditation, so it's become more of a doing, and the doer, in my experience, has to leave in order for pure presence to come forward.
It's as if, we're taught to stop thinking, so we're concentrating on, fighting the thought.
Yes. There's resistance. When the resistance falls away, presence can come forth. And there is a difference between being present and presence itself. And I feel that's not spoken about or understood in our culture so much, is that, for one to be present, for me to be here and be present with you at this moment, I'm sensing you, I'm feeling the air, I'm noticing the sounds in the background. I'm present with what's here, but that's not necessarily presence. Presence is a deep inner soul, our soul, the truth of our being that comes forth through the activation of being present. So there's a difference between I am present here now versus I am allowing presence to move and be through you. Yes.
So you almost need to be present to let presence be.
Absolutely. And meditation is the way through which, if we are meditating correctly, if the doer gets out of the way and we can just be, there's no stopping the thoughts, there's just watching them, noticing them. But the more we notice them, the more distant they become. So it's not what's in our forefront anymore. It becomes what's in the background.
And how do you meditate? Like, what's your favorite way of meditating, if we can say it that way?
I practiced meditation for years. I practiced with other people. I read books. I really tried to meditate for a long time. And with the work that I've done with people over the course of my life, I didn't recognize that I was meditating through my work that I do with people, because the work that I do with people, the power of which helps to assist them is being 100% present with them. And one day, while I was practicing meditation, doing what you're supposed to be doing, sitting in your posture and watching your thoughts, it dawned on me, it was like I moved into that intuitive, open, empty space in which I sense when I'm working with people. And I went, oh my God, this is meditation. And so all the resistance and the doing stopped, and the being just was there, which had always been there in my work, but I didn't consider it a meditation. So when I work with people, I work with helping guide them into that intuitive center and resting there. And some people have never experienced that intuitive center, so that can take some time. But for me, my meditation is not even a meditation, it's just being, just allowing. It doesn't matter if my eyes are open or my eyes are closed. In fact, oftentimes having my eyes open, for some reason, connects me almost instantly to the center within each of us that we each carry. But sometimes I do, if I'm getting distracted by what's around me, then I may have to close my eyes. But when I let all the rules of meditation fall away, that's when I really found the truth of meditation. Being.
Can you tell us about your book? What's the main message? The power of our unshakable presence. I love that word, unshakable. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So the title of that book came forth through my own experience of the traumatic events that I encountered over the course of my life. And when something comes in and shakes us up, there's this real uneasiness inside of us. And what I found through when I would allow myself to just come into pure presence when I was experiencing that uncertainty and that maybe it's tumultuous thoughts or emotions that are moving, I found that all of that kind of unsettled shakiness, not feeling safe in my world, subsided. And this pure power and stillness would calm the ripples, I guess you could call them, of that uncertainty, that trauma, that suffering. And so that's where the the title of the book came forth, but in all the years that I've worked with people, I always wanted to have a very simple and basic guide for people to guide and inspire and empower their own ability to recognize their own true essence, their own true being. There's lots of spiritual books out there, and each one can touch on certain aspects of presence. But what I find is that people that I've worked with over the years, and even myself, can overcomplicate things, and then it becomes a doing rather than a being. So the way in which I've written the book is very simple, very basic. Anyone can practice simple practices that I give that allow our ability to become more present, but also lessen the resistance for our own presence to come forward. What I find in becoming presence itself is that all resistance has to fall away. And so in the book, I give very simple practices for um, engaging on a regular basis that naturally allow an opening to come forth because the contractions within us are not
Mm. So it all like it instead of becoming a practice, it just becomes like almost second nature.
happening. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm. And I guess we can find your book on Amazon.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
on Amazon, The Power of Our Unshakable Presence.
And I think there's a subtitle to it also.
Finding permanent peace in intense times.
Mm.
We, as a whole on this planet right now, are living in such intense times. And people, I find, are really desperate in looking for a way to handle what's happening on a large scale in the world right now. And we all already carry it within ourselves. It's just a matter of allowing all that we're not to fall away so that it can come forth in its power.
Beautiful. I also know, Christina, that you work with people with cancer and terminal illness. Can you share a bit about that with us?
Yes. So I've had many doctors, osteopaths, acupuncturists, many people in the healthcare profession over the last couple of decades who have referred people to me for numerous things, and it just so happens that so many people have become more ill in our more stressful environment, and so people began coming to me who had cancer. And because of the intimacy that is developed through presence and working with people, they have asked me to continue working with them through the process. And for many, that means healing and moving on in their journey in a much more full life. And for some, it means transitioning and passing on from their bodies. And what I find in working with people who do have any kind of terminal illness is that there's such a desire to let go of everything that hasn't been serving because whatever that is, they may have found has brought them to the point that they're at. So when we're really ready to let go, there's an opening that can happen almost immediately. And for many, most all of the people that I work with who do have terminal illness, whether they heal or whether they are transitioning, they come to find and recognize the truth of their being for the first time ever in their life.
Mm.
And so even if that means that they are dying, they are waking up to the truth of their life in a way that some people never recognize their entire lifetime.
And then I guess that's peaceful also. They at least they have that peaceful moment before passing away.
Yes. And not just the peaceful moment before passing away and through the transition of the passing, for me, I don't see it as a passing away, but a transitioning into what's next. But also, there's a peace that comes in the recognition and understanding of their life. And that's a very powerful thing because oftentimes people are full of regret, fear, sadness of what they're not going to experience or what they didn't experience. And that all falls away because there's an understanding of what this life has meant and what it's really been.
Mm. And we were talking a little bit earlier before we got on camera about how maybe it's not necessary to get there, actually. So that how can we come to that point without necessarily having to go through illness or cancer or whatever else?
Yes. So if we have the desire within us to live fully, to experience life, to know peace and happiness, which is basically every human on the planet desires this, right, at some level. If we have that desire, we can use that to call forth our will to practice, our will to inquire and explore. Yes, when we're facing our own death, there is an impetus to just drop everything now because we see it hasn't been serving us.
There's nothing at risk.
Exactly. But if we really have the desire to experience our true being, our true life, that can happen just as easily for somebody who's facing an illness or something that is forcing them to that desire. It lives within each one of us every single day. So we don't have to have a trauma to wake up to the truth of our being. We can actively inquire, be inquisitive, and allow ourselves to be willing to notice and witness things and let them fall away. And in that falling away, which I talked about in my book, we clear the distractions and the perceptions that keep us from just experiencing simply being.
So to close off, Christina, is there anything that you'd like to, anything else that you would like to share with us, or what you would like to leave leave everyone with? I'm like out of words now.
I would love to share with everyone that no matter where we are in our life, no matter what's happening, whether it's good or it's challenging, there's not any person on the planet that lives without their own true essence that is simply the experience of peace, love, certainty, and understanding. And so if you're out there and you have not tasted or experienced it yet, know that it is there. And it's through the simplicity of allowing all that we're not to fall away.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you today, Pascale, and also for your own presence. Just being here with you, I feel your presence and that emanating through you. It's a beautiful gift that you also are giving to everyone out there today.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.